fish.
Yes, GoatVsFish.
You have laid GoatVsFish. What is it to lay GoatVsFish?
The fish laid the goat master fish with a beautiful jasmine and pink flower. It's called a lay. A lot of times there's sexual references to this lay.
Many have asked GoatVsFish if GoatVsFish has been laid. And now it is so, and now it is so.
It is so.
But why this celebration? Why this offering to GoatVsFish in this Maui Waui, Hawaii place?
I believe it was the tradition of the Hawaiian people that would welcome people, foreigners. They creatively thought of putting flowers on a string and came about the lei, flower lei. And now it's sold in retail stores.
But this is the true verses. This is the true verses. You can smell these verses.
Expensive verses, flowers.
GoatVsFish got laid in Hawaii! But do not let GoatVsFish be such a visitor to you. Let GoatVsFish within you become one with GoatVsFish. Soon GoatVsFish will be laying you and welcome you to GoatVsFish. And it was written, and it was written. And that comedy verses, yes. What is that comedy verses called?
So our comedy verses here in Maui, Kihei, Maui, Hawaii is Power Up Comedy, started by Chino LaForge, who's currently on the mainland as a pro comedian now. And Mr. Chuck Thompson and various other great comedians have taken the initiative to continue with it. And that's our humble home.
GoatVsFish met this fish on the mainland, as you call it, yes? Do you plan to return to the place called Los Angeles to continue your comedy verses?
This is true. This fish will be working hard to professionally entertain people and climb the ranks with many such credible individuals along the way of this journey called stand-up comedy.
GoatVsFish. Some say GoatVsFish is not stand-up comedy. Some say GoatVsFish is stand-up comedy. Callahan Fish. If goat and fish or a fence sitter wish to find you on the social media, to follow you and to ask you questions about Maui Waui, Hawaii, Many Island Place, how can they find you? How can they find this fish?
This fish, not that it's important, but good old Instagram at Callahan Welsh _. Don't look for me on Facebook. It's stupid. If you want to see my life and it pertains to you, do the Instagram. Other than that, have a good life.
Find this fish. Find a goat. Find yourself with GoatVsFish. Thank you for welcoming GoatVsFish, but do you want to hear a verses from GoatVsFish?
Yes, please.
Goat versus Fish has always been here. Goat versus Fish has always been here. It has always been Goat versus Fish. It has always been Goat versus Fish. It shall be forever Goat versus Fish.
Fish.
Fish. Let us hear the sound of the fish.